Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Well, I have to say, I wasn't actually planning on making this video. I wasn't planning on making another video about Aliexpress until the next sale in November. However, I've just come across a few watches in the past couple of weeks that I don't want to wait until I share them with you, because there's something a little bit special to them and I'm really drawn towards them. Now guys, I do try not to make too much content about any specific sort of subject. Try not to make too many videos about Aliexpress or too many videos all about Seikos. I do try to spread it out a little bit, so I do apologise if this is sort of coming out not that far after a sale in Aliexpress. But I do hope that you stick with me, because I've got 5 watches that I want to share with you today that are particularly interesting. So let's jump into these 5 watches that I'm showing you today. Now just be aware, I've not had any hands-on experience with any of these watches, so I'm not specifically recommending them to you. However, I am bringing them to your attention because they do interest me, so I do hope that they interest you as well. If you do choose to buy these watches, however, I will leave some affiliate links down in the description of the video. If you do buy them, please let me know what they're like, because I would absolutely love to have some feedback about these watches, because I'm likely to buy some of these as well. But okay, so in no particular order, I'm going to use my notes to make my life a little bit easier. I'm going to start off with number 1. It's a Gustav Becker by Serges. Now, I haven't had an experience with Serges watches as of yet, but I have seen some good reviews of their watches, so I think this one should be of reasonable quality. Now this one is a little bit different for me, because this is a homage of an affordable Aliexpress watch. It's a homage of a Sea-Gull watch. And I wouldn't normally sort of recommend a homage of a watch that is sort of affordable anyway. But this one, there's 2 reasons why I'm interested in this watch. And there's 2 reasons why I'm bringing it to your attention. Firstly is the price. Even though it is not significantly cheaper than the Sea-Gull, it is definitely still cheaper. It's about a third of the price. This Gustav Becker is 160 Australian dollars versus the Sea-Gull is about 440 Australian dollars. So yes, the Sea-Gull's not exceptionally expensive. However, for me, this style of watch, although I really like it, I can't quite bring myself to justify $440 for it. It's just beyond the amount of money that I'm comfortable with this style of watch, knowing what I'll sort of end up using and how often I'll wear it. However, at $160, it's almost a perfect price. I'm happy to spend $160 on this watch. So for me, yes, okay, the original watch that is homage is not super expensive, but this one makes a lot more financial sense to me. But then it comes to point 2, the second reason why I specifically like this one, and this really pushes me over the edge about liking this one versus the Sea-Gull. And the reason is the movement. This Gustav Becker actually contains the NH35, the Seiko movement, a movement which we all love, enjoy, and feel very confident in. Whereas the Sea-Gull watch, and that Sea-Gull watch, by the way, is the 811.93.6106, it contains a Sea-Gull movement. Now, I like Sea-Gull movements. I have no problems with Sea-Gull movements. However, if you offer me 2 watches that look the same, one contains a Seiko movement, one contains a Sea-Gull movement, I'm always going to pick the Seiko movement. I feel more confident and comfortable with the Seiko movements, even though I know Sea-Gull movements are good. And for me, this one being about a third of the price and having a Seiko movement, it really pushes me over the edge to like this one more so than the watch that is actually homaging. It also has sapphire crystal, it's got a case of 43mm, has a lug to lug of 51, so it's a bit bigger, this one, and it comes on a canvas strap, which I think sort of really suits this sort of military sort of looking watch. I'm actually quite keen on this one. I'm absolutely thinking about buying it. Maybe I might wait to the next sale, but well, let's see how we go. Number 2 is a bit of an interesting one. I'm not sure if it's a particularly great quality watch. It's a little bit hard to tell from the pictures, but I can certainly say it's a very interesting looking watch. It is a Hruodland. I do apologise however you say that. The Turbine Custom, the F016. So this one has a real sort of Type 1 or Type A Fleiger style watch look to it, a bit of a pilot watch, but it has a little bit of a quirk to it. Down at 6 o'clock, there's a sub-second registry, but it's not a second hand. It's like a fan turbine, which I think looks absolutely funky. I think it looks really cool. Something a little bit different. And when you're looking at these sort of Fleiger watches, I do quite like when they sort of introduce something into that sort of fairly simple design that is something that's a little bit interesting. It makes me quite keen on it. So this one is 280 Australian dollars. It is powered by the Sea-Gull ST3621 movement. I know I just spoke about Sea-Gull movements, but this one doesn't have the option. It just comes with Sea-Gull, so that's okay. It has a case of 43 millimeters. It has a lug width of 22 millimeters. It comes with sapphire crystal. There's an option for with the logo and without the logo, and there is a blue dial variant and a black dial variant. I think it is a very funky looking watch. Now, number 3 really does interest me because I think it looks really, really cool. It is a mysterious code titanium pilot. Now, this one comes in quite a few different variations and colors. Some of them are fairly simple, but there's 2 particular variations that really interest me. It's the orange one and the blue one that has that sub-second sort of sectorized dial at the 9 o'clock. I think they look absolutely cool. There are some options that just look more like a simple pilot watch that does not have that sub-second dial or doesn't have that sectorized dial. But I think it, as is, that orange with those dials looks really cool. I think the blue looks great as well. And the lume looks really awesome as well. Now, I'm going to make an assumption and say that this is probably a homage watch. It's coming from Aliexpress, so it's very likely to be a homage watch, but I'm not quite sure what it is homaging. If you guys know, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to see what this is sort of taking heavy inspiration from, or is it actually a sort of original design? That would be good to know as well. Now guys, if you are keen on this one, it is 145 Australian dollars, which is pretty damn affordable. It's titanium. It's got a 40 millimeter case, lug to lug 49.5. Slight disappointment, it has a Miyota 8217 movement. Now these Miyota movements, they're probably not my favorite, but there's nothing really bad about them, other than the fact that they do sort of sound and feel a little bit weird on wrist. They are definitely a reliable movement, so an affordable watch with this 8 series Miyotas don't put me off too much. However, it's a bit of a shame that it's maybe not a Seiko movement, but that's not, I shouldn't really put you off. And when you're buying the orange one, you get it on an orange strap. If you're buying the blue one, you get it on a blue strap. Very funky. I'm quite interested in this one. At number 4, I've been starting to see a few watches that had this sort of general design around, coming through some of the micro brands as well. This one's looking quite good as well. It is the Pierre Paulin by Merkur. Merkur is sort of well known to make some reasonable quality watches on AliExpress. I haven't had one in for review yet, but everything I've seen online from them has looked quite good. It comes in both a silver and a salmon dial. It comes in at 170 Australian dollars. It comes in that nice sort of style case. There's 38 millimeters, which is very popular at the moment. I like a 38 millimeter watch, and this sort of style does look particularly good. It says it comes with a mechanical hand winding movement, but it doesn't tell us what movement that is. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a SEAGULL movement, but who knows? I'll keep an eye on it, and if it does update it, I might put some extra information in the description below. I think it looks very, very nice. The only thing I have to say about this that probably I think would like to be tweaked about it, and it's probably the only tweak I'm saying in this video about one of the watches that I'm sharing, is that the hand links look a little bit short. That little sub-second registry, it'd be nice if it was a little bit longer. Even the hour and the minute hand, if they extended those a little bit, I think I'd like this watch a little bit more. But even as it is, I still think it looks great. And it looks quite good on that leather strap that it comes with. And number 5 is actually a SEAGULL watch. Well, it's been a bit of a day of either bagging out SEAGULL or wanting a SEAGULL. Now, recently I've bought a dress watch from SEAGULL, and I'm really, really impressed by it. And here is another very good looking SEAGULL dress watch. This one is the 819.12.6061. And I have to say, what a beautiful looking watch. I think SEAGULL does some actually really nice watches in this sort of dressy style. And this is one of the more affordable watches from SEAGULL as well. Some of their watches are getting a little bit expensive for me when it comes to sort of AliExpress watches. However, some of their dress watches are beautiful. This one here, 215 Australian dollars. And I think that's absolutely great value for a SEAGULL dress watch. I do particularly like it. It comes in both a silver and a black dial. It has a 40 millimeter case diameter, comes with sapphire crystal, comes with the SEAGULL ST2500 movement, and it's a nice light 70 grams on wrist. All right guys, what do you think about my list? I'm actually quite excited about these 5. I think they all look really particularly good. There's at least 2 on that list that I absolutely want to buy. I'd love to hear your comments on them. Leave one of those comments down below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I always do appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch me talk about watches. Hope to see you in the next video.